succeed in our futures, each one as successful as the other. However, we never would have been able to reach our goals that we have set thus far if it weren't for the unending support of our parents, friends, families, supporters, and administrators. I'd like to thank everyone for traveling up for this special day as MSSM opens the world to 70 strong, ambitious, and outgoing graduates. On behalf of the graduating seniors and the Maine School of Science and Mathematics, it is my pleasure to welcome you to the commencement ceremony for the graduating seniors of 1998.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Megan, for the warm welcome. As I watched Senior Dan Crosby lead the MSSM stage band during the spring concert, my mind formed the image of how you as a class are like the musical instruments of band. You each came to the MSSM with a different background and history based upon past school and faculty experiences. It was your uniquenesses that made you an important part of the student body as you joined in with the other members of the class of 1998. Today, hopefully, you realize how important you were and are to the success of MSSM and your fellow classmates. Your first meeting, do you remember? It was the day we moved into the new residence hall, which wasn't quite finished. Some of you moved in quietly like a flute, while others moved about in a boisterous manner, much like a percussion instrument. What a cacophony of sound that day. According to Stephen Covey, synergy is the state in which the whole is more than the sum of the parts. As time went on, your personalities and talents began to blend into a synergetic symphonic melody. As you leave us today to join your next band, remember that it's only through sharing your talents with others that you become stronger and better. My wish for you today is that your future is filled with symphonic melodies. Thank you.
Imagine, it's graduation day and you're about to give a speech to your friends, your family, and all their friends and family. But alas, you don't know how to give a speech. Today I will be doing a refresher speech about how to give speeches so no one will be left in this dilemma. Wait, this isn't gonna work. I left my visuals back in my dorm room. I'm sorry, Mr. Atwood, but I will not be using your criteria for a speech today. I hope you don't deduct too many points. Our journey through MSSM is finally coming to a close. Now, I'm still not sure if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but most of my peers will probably agree that this is a good step into our future. Many people will probably agree that my friend Holly is our official spokesperson for keeping the class informed about how many days of school are left. She's been counting down the days until graduation for as long as I can remember. Well, Holly, there are no more days, hours, or even minutes left, and now we must enter the world. Or college, which is the next best thing. Some of you may remember applying for a position at this school 2 years ago. On the application, there was a question which contained a quote by Robert Frost, which stated, "Two roads diverged in a wood, and I took the one less traveled by, and that has made all the difference." When each of us decided to come to this school, we went off the beaten path and converged in Limestone. On the journey, our feet have taken us where we have been and where we want to go. It has given us the ability to walk to our destiny and into others' hearts. When we were babies, we slowly began to crawl, and then with the help of our parents' support, we began to take our first steps, and so our journey began. In kindergarten, our feet brought us to the playground where we sat in the sandbox and were content with the way the world worked. Then in middle school, our feet led us to different classrooms where we sat and learned about the world around us and began to question things. More recently, our feet brought us to this school where we met our friends who will remain in our hearts for the rest of our lives. With the help of teachers and staff, we began to answer some of these questions, while still asking more questions. Through this journey, our feet have crossed much terrain to get to this point in our lives. Some people have helped us by painting a golden path for an easy journey, while others have placed red-hot coals in our path, which made our feet blister. But after the brief pain subsided, our feet became tough from the experience, and this helped protect and prepare us for the next challenge and then around the road. Now our feet will carry us out of this school and into the future. The path is diverging again, and each member of this class is starting a new journey. Part of this journey will be determined by you, but have faith that your feet will not see the stop signs or dead ends which you may cross on your way. And though it was not an easy journey to get here, I believe it has been one well worth the trek. Thank you very much, and good luck to you all.
I'm a little taller than First of all, I'd like to welcome you all here today to see us all get out of our high school environment into the real world and our college careers. And I brought a little friend with me, and he's kind of shy. So if you all could, would you all say hi, Wally, with me on the count of 3? 1, 2, 3. Hi, Wally. This is my friend Wally the Walrus. I'd like to tell you a little story about Wally. Wally and his success. See, Wally lived in a very, very cold region of the world with a bunch of his walrus family. And they were sitting there, and there were legends of this green land filled with wonderful tropical fish that were so delicious, and beautiful skies. But it was all a legend. No one had ever seen them. They were all tales that they had heard. And Wally, he couldn't get this land out of his head. He just kept on thinking about it and wished that he could actually see it someday. And he talked about it to the elders of the walrus community and to his little walrus friends. And he thought, oh, needless to say, he was a little tormented, and he was made fun of. And they were like, oh, Wally, get your head out of the clouds and come with us and be successful. But Wally wouldn't do that. Wally wouldn't give up his dream. So Wally decided one day that he'd pack up a couple of fish, put on his nice warm coat and jump into the ocean and swim to his heart's desire until he found this green little land. And he swam, and he was gone for months. And his walrus community got worried and forgot about him, and they were like, oh, poor Wally. We told him he should have stayed, but he went on. He kept going, and now we've lost him. It's too bad. But Wally, after months of travel and after being out of fish for a while, came upon a school of the most beautiful fish he had ever seen. Tropical fish the size of, well, this size, twice the size of Wally. Huge fish. And Wally knew he had completed his dream. He had found this promised green land. He stayed there for a while, feasting on fish and seeing the sights on the shore. It was very hot, so he shed most of his skin. He got a little thinner because he sweated. And what he did is he had some people take pictures for him because as he was swimming, he was into some Morse code underwater from going by ships. So he learned Morse code, and he tapped, could you please take a picture of me in this beautiful land? So the first took the pictures of him, put him in a Ziploc bag, and gave him back to him. And he said, okay, thank you. I should probably go back and see my family. They're probably worried about me. So Wally went back, took some tropical fish, ate them along the way on his long, hard journey back. And by this time, his parents had given up all hope along with the rest of the Walrus community. And Wally, one day, popped his head up out of the cold waters and said hello to his parents, to his family, and to his friends. His family and friends were overjoyed, and they were wondering, Wally, where have you been? Did you see the Greenland? Wally goes, not only did I see the Greenland and eat the wonderful fish, but I have pictures too. And he showed his Walrus friends the pictures, and they were pleased. And Wally had succeeded. He had completed his dream, and they lived happily ever after. I believe that this story holds a lot of truth. In order for someone to be successful, they need to have a dream, a want, an urge. They need to have the determination and the want to actually complete this dream. To go forth and take those challenging steps, no matter what anyone else says, no matter what they say to you, no matter how many people turn you down or make fun of you, you always need to keep your dream ahead of you and keep taking those strong steps forward. And maybe someday we'll be like Wally, and we'll reach our dreams, and we'll eat the fish, and take the pictures, and come back and show those who didn't believe. That is all I have to say.
Good afternoon. It's my pleasure to welcome another member of the class who will start us on the next piece of our program. Would Ethan Beckley come forward?
I've been asked to come forward today just to introduce my grandmother. She's Grammy to me, and you can all call her Martha if she wants you to, or you can call her Representative Martha Bagley. She's going to come up and do a good thing. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Martin, Dr. Patterson, family and friends, and the graduating class of 1998. It is a great honor to introduce a distinguished statesperson and the first woman Speaker of the House in the 176-year history of the state of Maine. Elizabeth H. Mitchell, Libby as she is known to her peers, is a graduate of Furman University in Greensville, South Carolina, and has a master's degree in teaching from the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill. Libby has a long and distinguished record of service to the people of Maine. She entered Maine politics in 1974 as a state representative, served 5 consecutive sessions, and was elected majority leader in 1980. In 1990, she returned to the House and served 4 more terms, and was elected Speaker of the House in 1996. Libby has been a lifelong champion of education, serving on the Governor's Task Force on Educational Excellence in Maine and the Joint Standing Committee on Education. Throughout 1984's important election reforms, she continued to exhibit her firm commitment to the importance of education. Throughout her career, Libby has strongly endorsed the issues of health care, housing, and the needs of Maine workers, to name just a few. A strong believer in community service, she has served on many state and local boards and commissions. A former teacher, Libby lives in Vassalboro with her husband Jim. They are the proud parents of 4 children, have 1 grandchild and 2 more on the way. Over the last 2 years, it has been my privilege and pleasure to serve with Libby in the House of Representatives. It is with tremendous pride that I present my friend and colleague, a true champion for the people of Maine, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, the Honorable Elizabeth H. Mitchell.
speaking at the graduation of my last child from Waterville High School. I thought I was prepared for everything after that because she said, "I'll drive you there, Mom." She was class president. She wanted everything to work and to be on time. We get into the car, we're speeding up to Waterville, and the window falls out. So I move over closer to her to keep my lovely hairdo intact, and we make it there. As I have tried to repair the window, I have black hands, blown hair, but at least we get through the occasion, remembering what it was all about anyway. It was the extraordinary excitement of marking that milestone in her life. Well, as if that weren't good enough, today I was out on Kineo Island, and if you haven't been there, that's down near Rockwood, Greenville, Maine. And the plan was I would come across on a boat this morning, get up to the Greenville airport, and be whisked up here just in time for all the celebration. Well, this morning it was raining. Coming across on the boat, we were soaked because the white caps were up. It was not a real boat, it was like a party barge. So we arrived quite wet on the other side, drive up to the Greenville airport, which is not an airport like we normally think about. All the buildings were locked, and all these planes were fastened down the runway, and we were the only ones safe. So 30 minutes later, I get a wonderful phone call from Jim Patterson, who says, "We have a situation." Those are the words he used. "We have a situation." Turns out the plane couldn't land. It had buzzed over, but it flew right off. And so, thinking quickly, as speakers of the House are trained to do, I said, "What about if we meet you in Bangor?" Now, that's only an hour and a half from there. So we sped to Bangor, had a great flight in here, was met at the airport by my good friend, Representative O'Neill, who was quite calm, kept us calm all the way here. But to me, these stories, frankly, speak not only to Wally seeking his dream, but they speak to the persistence of the people in this room behind me, Jim Pattersons of the world, the Gary O'Neills, the Rosie Sirras, Mabel Desmonds, the Aroostook County delegation, who made this school, which was little more than a dream, on how to use this wonderful facility, a dream of how to educate people. I had the privilege of chairing the education committee at the time, and I remember the extraordinary presentation by those dreamers who came to Augusta to be met by all the naysayers. "Can't do that, it never happened." Brought the pictures down like Wally did, but nobody believed. They kept on and they kept on, and the enthusiasm was infectious. The dream was important, but not just for you, but for all those young people who are coming behind you. And I want to congratulate you. I want to congratulate all those with that dedication. It reminds me not just of my trip, but I always think of these stories when I think about not giving up. Now, I probably should own stock in Coca-Cola because I must admit I drank too much of it. But I want to remind you that the Coca-Cola company sold only 400 Cokes in its first year of business. Dr. Seuss's book was rejected by 23 publishers, his first one. And Henry Ford went bankrupt twice before hitting it big in the automotive world. And I even read recently about a 26-year-old quadriplegic graduate of the Einstein College of Medicine. When he was 14, he was at a scout camp and had a diving accident. He started applying medical school later. He was rejected by 10. He finally got in, and he graduated in the top 10% of his class. Now, I want to particularly thank Graham here. Representative Martha Bagley is another person. When asked to run for the legislature, she said, "I can't do that. I'm not qualified." And of course, no one is more qualified than Representative Martha Bagley. She's done a marvelous job. I don't want to embarrass Ethan, but I will, because I embarrassed my own daughter, Emily. Her grandson, Ethan, frankly, because of her enthusiasm about you and this graduation, I would have swum up here if that had been necessary. Because Martha wanted me here. She wanted me to see the young man that she was so proud of, but Ethan is very typical of the young men and women in this class. They're talented, they're well-rounded, and they took a chance. It isn't easy to leave your friends back home and come to a school up at Limestone, Maine, is it? But they did. And as I understand it, Ethan learned about this school at Model State. Is that correct, Ethan? And now he's going out of this school with a 4-year scholarship that he will use to attend the Rochester Institute of Technology, where he's going to major in mechanical engineering. And I'll bet you if I knew the stories, I could tell the same exciting stories about each of you. So I'd like to congratulate all of you. And I also promise that I won't be too long because I know why you're here. You're here to get those diplomas and to celebrate and to pack those U-Hauls and get out of here. But I will talk to you for just a moment because after I told you just got to listen. Earlier this week I did take a look at your website, and there's one thing that distinguishes your generation from Representative Bagler's and mine. We sometimes get mixed up because we think Java is something you drink, we think a mouse is a rodent, and we think Yahoo is what you're going to say when the ceremony's over. So it's really exciting to be speaking to all you scientific and mathematically inclined young people who are very familiar with computers. And we all know that this information technology is like the printing press. It's one of those rare phenomena that comes along and changes the course of history forever. You know that Americans spend more money on PCs than on TVs. You know that the Ford Taurus contains more computing power than the lunar module that took Neil Armstrong to the moon. The chips inside your video games are more powerful than the supercomputers of the 70s. And now we're riding the next great technological wave, the rise of a powerful global network like the internet. Something really is important happening here. It's going to change the way we do everything, including shopping for cars or CDs or whatever else. It truly is making our communities, real and virtual, different from what we have known in the past. And it's doing more than changing commerce. Some of you may have read about or be familiar with the great chess match between Garry Kasparov and the supercomputer Deep Blue. The computer's victory was an amazing feat. Kasparov certainly is the greatest living chess master, and many people consider him the greatest of all time, but even he could not triumph over a computer that could consider 200 million moves a second. I don't know about you, but I was rooting for Kasparov. The brute power of the supercomputer is astounding, but the match seemed to say as much about human worth as about technological wizardry. It reminded us of our limitations as well as the potential of technology. It reminded us what machines can do and what humans can do. They're not the same. In a curious way, I think it reaffirmed the value of human endeavors because the hardest and most important problems cannot be solved through sheer computational math. The hardest and most important problems are social, political. They're how we relate to each other as individuals and nations, and how we treat the least fortunate among us, and how we use our gifts and our abilities to make our small corner of the world a better place. The hardest and most important problems have been with us for decades. One need only think about the bloody conflict that has torn people apart for centuries in Northern Ireland, and think about the extraordinary man from Waterville, Maine, who did what a computer could not do, who stepped forward with patience, courage, intelligence, and tenacity, and helped bring peace to that long-suffering country. Despite all the changes in technology and in the ways we do our job and communicate with one another, your generation is still inheriting some of these old issues. It remains a world of confidence and a world of fear, of opportunity and barriers, of fulfillment and poverty, and riches and want. So you can use this technology to make this world a better place. Just because you can reach out and touch someone on the other side of the globe does not mean you're excused from reaching out to those people who are closer to you, your classmates, your neighbors, your co-workers, persons in trouble, people less fortunate. Only by bridging this distance between us can we make this world a better place. I'm going to leave you with, I think, the definition of a true successful person. I wish I could say that I had written it, but I did not. It was written, however, by a New Englander, except I don't have the good fortune of having a New England accent. I did move to Maine as quickly as I could. I wanted to share with you a point, a statement. And I hope you'll think about it as you go forward with those brilliant minds that you have, that have been well trained. And I want you to think about a story. Again, my long-suffering husband put up with all the fuss of my getting here. And those of you who ever drive with close friends, spouses, or whatever, you know what it's like when the other person is saying, go faster, slow down, go faster, slow down. He put up with all of that. But he also told me a wonderful story of one of his professors, a professor of science, as a matter of fact, told the story about the lucky accident in the prepared mind. And it is a wonderful milestone to do that with me, because I'll bet you, most of you think you know what you're going to be doing, but you're not really sure what you're going to be doing the next few years out. You never told me I'd be Speaker of the Maine House of Representatives when I was a young girl growing up in Gaffney, South Carolina. We both would have had a good life. But what I want to tell you about, this scientist said that aspirin and Teflon, they were discovered while the scientists were looking for something else. But when they discovered it, they knew it was very valuable, and they seized upon that. So now you have prepared minds, and I hope that you have lots of lucky accidents. But I hope that your minds are open and that you're willing to take that chance and that risk and to seize them. And with that in mind, I'd like to close with this statement about what it really means to be successful by Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh often and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to earn the appreciation of honest critics, and to endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a better place, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or redeemed social condition, to know that even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. I'd like to join all these wonderful people in the audience congratulating these outstanding young men and women. Go forward, succeed, and have many lucky accidents. Thank you.
Speaker Mitchell. It's now my pleasure to call Lucy Lebec up to the microphone to assist me with a special presentation. Twice in the history of the school, we've given honorary diplomas on behalf of the Board of Trustees, the faculty, and the graduates of the school to people who have made an extraordinary difference in the life of Maine School of Science and Math. Today we will confer the second honorary diploma to Speaker of the House, Elizabeth Mitchell. When we had the dream of the school, Fred Edgecombe, the wonderful people of Limestone that helped advance this proposal, we had to have receptive, open minds in Augusta who could see the vision of the school and would work with us in getting it established. Speaker Mitchell has always been that person, and it's an absolute pleasure to recognize her here today. And I hope that you will remember her role in the school as her role as Speaker of the House ends in January. So again, join me in thanking Speaker Mitchell. Jack?
The MSSM is all about being a little different. It's not so much about football team rankings or soccer game. It's more about new vegetarian entrees at the cafeteria. And it's less about licenses and cars, more about the math team performance. Even Saturdays aren't about parties or bonfires. They're much more about getting a head start on a week's homework and deciding what card game to play from 10 to 12. But it's more than a little different. It's actually just a little strange. So where else do you know where the Super Bowl is primarily watched for the quality of the commercials, or gossip's not about who's going out with who, but rather what new computer hardware came in this week? And showering daily is a little bit more than passé. People regularly attend their classes in their bedclothes, often out of the clothes are of the opposite sex. And to accessorize the entire ensemble, they wear dog collars. And on rare days, and particularly on Valentine's Day, that most formulaic of all days with roses and cards, lovely cupids dance about our school, giving songs and praise and kissing teachers for money. But I think the real difference in our school, the real strangeness, lies in one tidbit of information. The math team is a course.
Alas, poor York, I knew him well.
In the same vein, the Maine School of Science and Mathematics Student Senate wasn't about to award some sort of cliche financial scholarship. We'd like to give something a bit more characteristic of our school to the graduating senior who's been a friend to so many of us and welcomed so many juniors to the school and made them just at home here. Let's see what I have under here. Box snuggle. And some Arm & Hammer concentrated deodorant. It's actually perfectly dye-free. A Zoot stain remover. And $10 in quarters. And it is my distinct pleasure to present the first annual Maine School of Science and Mathematics annual laundry scholarship to Pratima Prasad.
How do you follow that? Good afternoon. It's always an occasion that's both happy and sad to say goodbye. Many of you I've had a chance to speak to personally over the last few days and tell you how much you've meant to us by being here. It was terrific last night to see so many of our alumni brothers and sisters back. Last night we had approximately 60 people from last year's class return, driving hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of miles to be with you and to be here today. And I think that speaks to the kind of bond that you develop with each other and with the school, with the staff, with the faculty, with each other. I'd like to offer my personal congratulations to each of you. There are special people that are here today that should be recognized. First, your parents, who are willing to let you come here in order to attain the great education in our classrooms, as well as the opportunity to be with each other. I would ask that each parent here stand and be recognized by the graduates. People who deserve truly special recognition and your thanks are your host parents, the people in the community that opened up their hearts and their homes. Limestone is a special place. For 45 years, it was the host of Loring Air Force Base, and this community welcomed strangers into their homes and into their hearts. nothing has changed. The host family program affected nearly 50 of you by having area parents that would cook you a pizza when you needed to get out of the dorm, would fix your torn jeans, would listen to the sob story about too much homework, and would generally be there for you. I would ask that the host parents that are here please stand and be recognized. I'd like to recognize at this particular moment the alumni that traveled to get here to see you graduate. As I mentioned, 60 people descended on the residence hall last night. I understand spent a very comfortable night on mattresses in the gymnasium. But it's important that they traveled this distance, sometimes literally hundreds and hundreds of miles, to be here with you. There's a bond between yourselves, the people that were here before, and the people that will come after you. Part of your job is to keep this bond going. You're special to us, you're special to each other, you're special to the previous graduates, and you're going to be special to the people that come after you. Would the alumni who are here with us today stand up and be recognized? Thomas Jefferson, speaking on education, said, "Let us in education dream of an aristocracy of achievement rising out of a democracy of opportunity." The experience you've had here has provided you with this opportunity to achieve at your maximum level. Perhaps further than you thought possible, especially during the first few weeks you were here, when you were making that adjustment to the load. Because the tuition to the Maine School of Science and Mathematics is free, and the room and board is on a sliding scale, any student in Maine can compete for the opportunity the school provides. An aristocracy of achievement rising out of a democracy of opportunity. Thank you, Speaker Mitchell, past and present members of the legislature, town officials from Limestone, trustee members. Thank you for helping to make this happen for the young men and women that are here today. My advice to today's graduates is to pursue your dreams regardless of the obstacles that may be in front of you. George Mitchell, that was mentioned previously, in accepting his assignment to try to bring peace to Northern Ireland, pursued a dream, and for 3 exhausting years, with virtually no progress, went back and forth across the ocean. And then a successful peace agreement was signed after decades of religious conflict. Robert Kennedy, who died 30 years ago this month while campaigning for president, often quoted George Bernard Shaw. Some men see things as they are and ask why. I read things that never were and ask why not. I urge you to ask why not. I'm pleased that the number of our graduates choosing to pursue their higher education in Maine has nearly doubled from last year. To all of our graduates, please remember this opportunity provided to you by the state. Return to serve your state. Return to serve your community. Even if you're out of state for a time, look to come back. Look to invest in Maine. Use the leadership skills that you've learned here to contribute to society and your fellow man. Winston Churchill, a great leader of Great Britain in World War II, was quoted as saying, "The price of greatness is responsibility." We hope that you will be both great and responsible. Finally, in my remarks to you, I'd like to express your thanks to the faculty and the staff at the school, and I would ask that the faculty and all staff here stand up and be recognized. Thanks to each of you for caring so much about our students and making their experience here successful. I'd like to introduce Lucille Levesque, the chairperson of the Board of Trustees, who will now say a few words and assist in the conferring of the diplomas.
Thank you, Jim. On behalf of the board, it gives me great pleasure to congratulate you on your endeavors. I thought that I would take a few moments to just say hi and how you doing, and thanks for believing in the dream. I've been on this board for 4 years now. Back when there wasn't a school, I remember going to a confirmation hearing with Representative Mitchell and wondering, what is this all about? And why Limestone? But every time I look at each one of you, and I think, my gosh, you know, wasn't always sure that it would happen, and during the times when we worried more about whether or not we could make the next payroll, never mind when we're giving you a quality education, you remind us that this is what it's about. And I can't thank you enough for being open-minded, for taking some risks, and for making MSSM everything that it is. I would challenge you, like Luke, to send Wally out and hope that y'all find your greenland. Congratulations.
Would you please hold your applause until all of the diplomas have been conferred? Trevor Washington. Tony Allen. Christopher D. Russian. Katie Pathrina Shri Menta Prasanna. Ruth Elizabeth Lyons. Megan Louisa James Lyons. John Westine. Terry Suzanne Krebs. Michael Christian Grant. James Oliver Andrew Scott. Sarah Michelle Lanning. Eric Sims Gruber. Leanne K. Morgan. Aaron Jordan. Luke C. Shorty. Addison Young Frederick Raymond. Allison Filaro. David Lee York Reddy. Jeremy Michael Usher. Nathaniel Godin. Eric Perkins. Esther Rose Neto. Jason L. Hills. Clayton Levitt Matthews III. Daniel Robert Fidarian Crosby. Jennifer Damon. Joseph James Lewis. Joshua Martin. Matthew Bernard Tardif. Ryan Matthew Shepard. Al Durgan. Christopher E. Bouchard. Sarah Ann Bean. Morgan Phoebe Carey Lewis. Amanda Lee Wallach. Daniel Paul Fiore. Holly Lynn Hart. Britt Wolfson. Sarah Christine Vickerman. Luke McNally. Elizabeth Marie Emery. Jenica Dorian Lynn Starrett. Anastasia Eileen Butler Harper. April Dawn Ames. Shannon Fitzpatrick. Megan Jo Bishop. John D. O'Brien. Bronwyn Dumais Rice. Morgan Lewis Cox. Wisdom. Catherine Lynn McCarthy. Heather Banks Merriman. Adriana Cordry French. Sarah B. Clark. Tiffany Amber Brakefield. Clark Copeland. Molly Wasilewski Swallow. Aaron Neal Strange. Garth Ward Danielson. Michael Giacomazzi III. Christine Elizabeth Boyer. Robert L. Boyer. Megan Frances Emery. Jeremy Mark Labby. Jeremy J. Shute. Jennifer Margaret Letty.
Yeah, so how do I get this spot? All right.
Make something up.
I'm pretty good at that. Well, my learning young friends, it is time for you to go. You've got the hats, you've got the tassels on the right side, some of them have been flying about here, so that's all indications are that today we take flight, so to speak. Now has come that magical, quasi-mythical day about which you and your parents have dreamt since you long ago, hand in hand, made that first journey to the school bus. I'm sure that they probably remember it a little bit more than you do. You were already sprinting ahead to explore worlds wild and wonderful and new, and your parents holding back just a little bit, wistful over an impending departure. Now, much like that day, today will be marked by journeys ended and begun. Hesitant goodbyes, smiles, and the occasional or not so occasional tear for them, for you, and for us. So for everybody here today, I suppose. But leave you must, for the respective worlds you have made your own have already staked their claim upon you, and you can no longer be held at bay. Now, for some of you, this course outbound in our little maritime team here today is clear. The waypoints have long since been plotted. The future is well and truly charted out. Captains of the future you will be. Innovators, high-octane edge walkers, putting to rout all previous notions of progress and achievement. And maybe, just maybe, designing a discipline I can wear when I ski that doesn't bounce around. So the first one of you to do that, let me know. I'll buy a dozen for you. But be advised that such voyages as we make through this interesting sea of life here have a way of changing, and so says the former music major who now teaches anthropology, frankly wouldn't have it any other way. For some of you, however, life's archipelagos and backwaters and uncharted reaches and outports will occasion a great many deviations from that which has been charted and planned and set upon a schedule. Some of us returned just yesterday from a magical place called Francois in the south of Newfoundland, where the inexorable sweep of the second hand is known to pause from time to time. And lifelong friendships, the bonds of family, and the sense of belonging are the benchmarks by which a life well and truly lived is reckoned. Not for them, and perhaps not for all of you, the frantic drumbeat of 70-hour weeks spent in the pursuit of the media's definition, the media's dream for success. Now, an old man named Campbell used to talk an awful lot about bliss, and the many ways in which it makes itself known and calls forth its pursuit. And all my mythic realm students here go, yeah, we've heard of this guy. Follow your bliss, goes the mantra. Follow your bliss. And we've got it on coffee cups. We've got it on the backs of every VW van that's going to come here for the Fish concert. Follow your bliss. Probably written on the subway halls and tenement walls and all that as well. Now, some of you may one day find yours. Some of you are pretty well along the way to it already. And then captains of the soul you will be. And lucky chaps indeed. Today, however, is a day of casting off mooring lines for journeys of all sorts. You will inexorably be here. And on such departure days, we human animals love to talk about luck. We're enamored of luck. Okay, here we go. It's perhaps a tradition at moments like this to wish all of you luck, to call upon that great metaphysical force, thought to bring wayward mariners home from storms and to align Powerball numbers in favorable combinations. The last one was $115 million. If any of you figured that one out, let me know. But allow me, if you can imagine this, to break from tradition here, the small angry Viking, where I'm not going to wish you luck here today. Oh, a long time ago, in a place rather far away, a fire-breathing Navy drill instructor who could curse with the eloquence of Joyce taught me all I ever needed to know about luck, and I was far too smart to question her on it. Now, to make this point, I have to tell a brief sea story. Okay? And as some of you may know, there are two set phrases that begin every sea story. One of them is, well, there we were, and the other one isn't. That would be inside joke number one, right on schedule. Well, there we were, one day, in formation for close order drill or some other such nonsense. And Chief Petty Officer Banner came sauntering up to us and made the following announcement. And this is heavily sanitized, so put in the descriptive parts where you see a fit, all you who've been in the Navy. I'm not going to wish you people luck. You're so good you don't need it. Luck is for others. Luck is for those who are not prepared, if you will, for that transcendent moment when bliss well and truly arrives. You make your own luck. I'm not calling it down from the ether or anything. You people have proven that here. Now, Chief Banner knew, because she knew the inspection we were about to go into, she knew we were prepared and she'd kill us if we weren't. Okay? That hedges the bet a little bit. Likewise, my fellow faculty mates, these folks over here in the front rows here, the faculty of which I'm so honored to be a part, know you're ready because of the types of things that you and we together have done over the past 2 years here. And it is this awareness of your preparation and the lengths to which you have been driven, guilty as charged, and the lengths to which you have driven yourselves, and more power to you for that, that allows me to dispense with at least one of graduation day's stock activities. So there'll be no wishing luck to you today. This will be different. All of you willingly undertook to come here to be a part of what we lovingly call the Great Northern Knowledge Factory on the side of this hill in Limestone. And while here, you have been taking intellectual, emotional, and perhaps even physical limits that you may not have known existed previously. There's a reason for it. You came for math and science, and of course, Maine School of Science and Math is a name that adorns the sign on the front of this building. We came here for discoveries scholarly and academic in nature, and along the way, you've got the old chestnuts, calculus, physics, bio, count, Latin verb translations, and car bomb placement, the underpinnings of proper education in North America. Along the way, there were some intriguing side discoveries made as well. And this is all, I apologize in advance, heavily inside. They will get far much more of this than you do, but feel free to laugh along just to preserve the audience here. You also discovered how to guide 40 little lightning bugs on their way to love. And you prove that math and poetry exist not in opposite worlds, but rather complements the nuance and beauty of each other, especially in your math. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And we all learned the taboo of Alice's glue and the true honor of Leanne's pool cue. That the two should always be carried. You're in trouble if you don't, your bridge will fall down. And that the square root of 4 is not a particularly large number, even to math-phobic anthropology teachers. We tried, and some of us, alas, failed utterly, to learn all the words of old Canada. You knew that was coming. We learned unerringly the proper way to dissect the part of a bowl that makes it a bowl, and we're not talking about the horns here, I'm afraid. This was submitted by the science department upstairs. We found ourselves hove to in a North Atlantic gale, over the side talking to Davy Jones, and more than often holding each other's heads while we did so, and we learned that seasickness is something from which one can recover. You may not want to, but you will. We came to realize that explosions are the stuff of life of every chemistry class worthy of the name. We donned our silver and black, and we decreed that copyright laws, incompetent adjudicators, and reluctant governors would not long withstand the effects of applied acoustical mayhem. We discovered that bacteria can be made to glow in the dark with only a modicum of vigor. There we go. They may explain this someday. And we twice journeyed to the fierce majesty that is Newfoundland's world of sea, sky, and rock, where the wind screamed merry and we howled back week-a-paw against the southwesterlies of Hop struck 4 and 20. And as an additional aside to my fellow raiders, which in Newfoundland is an hour and a half earlier than it is here. And aside from my fellow raiders, I would journey to the ends of the world with you, so long as we always keep that screech within reach. And we talked, and we all learned, and you taught, and we learned. And if you ever have a teacher who tells you you don't learn from your students telling them to get out of the game, they've been in it too long. We learned from you. An awful lot about life. And that magnificent voyage of discovery upon which you embark today, and upon which the rest of us find us at various waypoints throughout, and all instruction is good. And so, my learning young friends, it is time for you to go. It is time for you to go grace the horde of 60 who descended upon us last night and graced us with our presence for the last 24 hours, many of whom are over here. Meet them later, they're an interesting bunch. I can tell the stories. It is time for you to cast off and begin your own personal journeys, but please be advised you don't go alone. Your present relationship with the MSSM doesn't end here today, and these folks are living proof of this. Now allow me to give your personal, small, angry Viking caffeine addict guarantee on this. For as long as the Swedish flag flies proudly in B-113, and as long as the genuine, no longer inflatable Gumby is somewhere on the wall, I think my seniors did this year did this to him. The key is the duct tape here, the electrical tape. He leaks. Who did it? It's a carafe, folks, isn't it? The door will always be open. The music will always be on. I hope it's something interesting. I'll try to make it so. The coffee will always be there, and in as much as you're all alumni now, you're of course welcome to partake of the sacred holy beverage. And we, or at least I, will always be there. And we want to hear triumphs, we want to hear failures, we want to hear frustrations, we want to hear about your lives, we want to stay involved. That's what makes this place different. We virtually live here. And as you approach the end of this particular 2-year segment in your life, and we look back at all the logbook of things that have happened in the past 3 years here, please take at least my assurance, and I'm quite certain I speak for my colleagues in black over here, that every experience, be it on the deck of a schooner, upstairs in the lab, or out back on a 25 degree below zero night sleeping in a snow shelter, every bit of that, the pleasure was mine, the pleasure was ours. And as we're so fond of saying in my beloved Navy, as you part here today, my friends, fair wind and following the seas, fair wind and following the seas.
We all remember the times in kindergarten and first grade when a job well done was rewarded with a gold star. And we all remember the times The new kids on the block, Punky Brewster and Rainbow Bells were all the rage. And soon we will all remember the times we have spent here together at MSSM studying, sleeping, stressing, smiling, and succeeding. We each came to MSSM to refuse visions and goals. We all came to one place where we had become friends and family. We have learned to support, help, and comfort our friends. We have been challenged to use all our talents, and we have all succeeded. Besides relying on our intelligence, we have had the unconditional, consistent love and support of our parents and family. These important loved ones are the people who have helped us develop who we are and what we stand for. I am here today following in the footsteps of my mother and grandmother who both spoke at their graduation. From childhood to now, we have grown up with these special people who are here today. Being seniors in high school, we all look back and remember our childhood when things seemed so easy. No pressure in school, no homework, and no huge exams to study for. As children, we all enjoyed the same little things, such as the wonder of watching frogs jump or fish swim. During our childhood, we all developed a sense of who we are and what we enjoy. Maybe it was our similar interests or our own personalities that had brought us here together at MSSM. When we were children, life seemed to stretch ahead of us without any limit. Even next birthday, next Christmas, or next year seemed an eternity ahead. When we were younger, graduation was a word that held no meaning, and now today it is upon us. As we take this giant step from childhood to adulthood, we will all share one common tie, the MSSM class of 1998. We have learned and experienced so much together, we will start this life on the same foot. At this moment, I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the MSSM senior class to thank the following people who have made today and our senior year such a great success. Representative Libby Mitchell, Mr. Patterson, Dr. DeSalle, the janitorial and kitchen staff, and all our friends, family, and host families that have made today and this year so special. As we stay behind and start tomorrow, I would like to congratulate all the seniors in the MSSM class of 1998. Good luck to everyone. We have all succeeded.
After the recessional, we would invite you to join us in the cafeteria for some refreshments and the opportunity to congratulate the new graduates.
sir.
There! Oh my God.